may or may not want to say something. Years now, and with all due respect to the senators and the members of Congress that we had here, and constitutional scholars and national security advisors and people the such, that Rachel is probably the greatest force of nature that I've ever worked with in DC. She just, as we said earlier, you don't say no. There is no no. It's only when are we going to get it done. So finally, obviously, the person who's really been the face of this issue and really driven this up the ladder to finally get signed by the president recently, Rachel Ehrenfeld.
Thank you all for coming. I appreciate the senators, the legislators that worked so hard together to get this the Speech Act. I think that it is really it is the culmination of what America is and the ramification of what America is known in the world to be. This is a country where you are free to think and say whatever you want to say. The American ideal is about liberty and freedom. And you hear my accent. I was not born here. I was born in Israel. And I came here, and one of the reasons why I came here was because this is the country where actually has a constitution with the free speech in it. It was important, and it is very important to me. Though my case, I think that the libel tourism has been a problem in England since 1849. They still think that it's a good law. Never mind that a few copies can be bought, even if it's not published in England, can be bought and you can be sued there for whatever it was published and is written in the book. The major responsibility for the law lies with Ben Mahfoud. And it really lies with him because he died last year. But when he died, the Saudi newspapers, writing about him and his achievements, wrote that his biggest achievement, this was the former banker of the biggest bank in the Middle East, the National Commercial Bank of Saudi Arabia. He was the banker to the royal family. And his biggest achievement was winning a libel case against Rachel Ehrenfeld, the Zionist Israeli neoconservative American. Okay, I thought that was not that. But I really have so many people to thank. The senators and the congressmen and the staff, the wonderful staff that helped. Actually, there is a sheet outside with names of the people that I could remember and thanking them. I thank Floyd and I thank Jim and Richard who are on my board, who have been very supportive and encouraging to go ahead with and push forward. And without this encouragement, I could have really not done so. I think free speech is very important, and it is more important today because of national security. And what Mahfouz did, apparently on behalf of all the other Saudis, he was the serial suer. And he was, as Prince Turki, the former ambassador here in England, has said to a British publisher, we really don't want your money, but you have to apologize and make it publicly because he does it for all of us. So if anybody had if nobody had any inkling that he was doing it as a lawfare to silence American writers and publishers, this was the proof. Just look at how many cases this one person actually, how many authors and publishers he managed to silence. At least 45. They were all listed on his website. How many other cases were there when people apologized privately and authors and never written any word about who funds terrorism and how they do it? So for the national security implications, I think this law does a lot. And I don't know if Britain will change the laws because I think they are changing the fee structure. But let's hope that they will change it. But other countries who don't have free speech in their constitution are doing similar things. They are suing Joe Sharkey, an American freelance travel writer, who happened to survive an air crash over the Amazon. And he wrote about it, and he wrote in the New York Times, and he wrote how the accident happened because of Brazilian air control mistake. And so somebody is now suing him in Brazil for defaming Brazil. And it's being also considered in the Brazilian parliament, and it's not only a civil case, now they are going after him with a criminal case. They are suing also in absentia the 2 American pilots that survived the crash. It was not their fault. So, but for him, they can actually, they took some measures to see if they can enforce the judgment against him. And he was really calling me every couple of days, so what's happening with the legislation? Are you going to have it before they are trying to enforce it here? So I'm glad we were able to help him and get the bill done. I think it's important that people will care more about what's happening, and if they say something, then maybe somebody will pay attention. And it would be wonderful if you tell everybody about the Free Speech Act, about the Speech Act, so that they know and encourage writers and publishers and bloggers to write about not only issues of national security, but issues of public interest, so that we can be what America is supposed to be, a free democracy. Thank you very much.
Drinking, Sarah.